Hey, everybody. Thank you for coming in for another of our Focus Friday series. My name is Ashton. I'm one of the claims consultants here. And today we're going to be chatting about the benefits of a formal modified duty job offer. This is just our best opportunity to make sure that we're keeping injured workers engaged and getting them back in as soon as possible. The first step in this process is going to be reviewing the activity prescription form. Usually, workers can be given restrictions to help aid in their recovery, and we want to review and understand the APF so that we can bring the worker back in a safe and sustainable manner. Looking at the APF, we'll know that the worker has limited restrictions based off of this section. The first circled area we're looking at is the range for the worker to perform modified duty as start and stop date. This next section is going to show us if the worker has restrictions to only work limited hours. In a lot of cases, we will see a graduated return to work where they're initially released to 4 hours a day for a week, and then they may bump that up to 6 hours a day for a week, and then a 1 week at 8 hours per day. And when we apply for stay at work benefits, we're going to want to sort through and pick the days where the worker had the most hours worked. This allows us to benefit financially as much as we can. And then the last section of the APF we'll be taking a look at is when the worker is removed from all work. This can be after a surgery, if the injury is very severe. If we have something that matches the capacity section of the APF, we can still send a modified duty job description to the attending provider on the claim for review and comment. If at all possible, the worker may be released to modified duty sooner than expected. But at the same time, we do want to use some discretion if we're looking at a full restriction from all work. If the worker's just had surgery, we don't want to send a request in immediately and risk alienating the provider. This section of the APF outlines what the worker's physical capabilities are. This section is actually lined up the same as a job description, so we can run line per line and make sure that we really understand the restrictions and that our modified duty job description is respecting those restrictions. So our next step would be to identify modified duty opportunities. We might need to custom tailor any of our pre-existing job descriptions to make sure that they're meeting the worker's capabilities. Here is just a quick glance at, we've got the job description form up against the estimated capacities of the APF. And this is just to show that you can run it very, very line by line. It kind of just gives us a cheat sheet. And then once you do have that job description written up, you can actually save that and create an internal job bank and then recycle, so we're not reinventing the wheel every single time. Here is a quick sample job description. This is for a hygiene monitor. And you can see it includes how many days per week, how many hours per day, and then a detailed explanation of what tasks the worker would be responsible for while on the modified duty. Once we have our position identified and the job description is completed, then we're going to want to go to the worker's medical provider and ask that they review and hopefully approve our description. So this is just an outline of the process. We'll go ahead and send our description over to the provider. We'll watch for a response. And sometimes it can be a little bit challenging to get a response back from the provider. So make sure you are working with your claims consultant here. We can send it to the appointment with the worker. We can fax in a copy. And if the AAP, the attending provider, approves, then we can move forward in the process. If they do not approve, we can help you review their comments and determine if any other options exist. And then if you do have a challenge getting that response in, we're able to work with the provider's office, the health services coordinator, if it is a Kogi provider, and we can also enlist the claim manager in getting us some help getting that response. After we do have AP approval, we'll want to make a written job offer. This job offer should include a copy of the job description that the attending provider approved. We will want to include a reasonable start date, and that's generally a week to 10 days out from the day that the job offer is being made. We just want to make sure that we are meeting the department's criteria of reasonable. We'll also want to include what the worker's shift will be and what work site they need to report to. We'll also include who their supervisor is and what type of wages the worker will be earning. If you need a cheat sheet, the department does have a tool to automatically generate these for us. As you can see on screen, they have 3 sections that need to be filled out. The first one, we're going to put in our employee information. And as you can see, I have a fake claim now, and I am your employer or employee. Once we have that section filled out, then we want to go into our middle category and include the job offer information. This gives us a space to clarify where the work site is, what the start date is, what shift the worker will be working, and what their pay rate is. They've got those little radio buttons down at the bottom so we can indicate that this is going to be a light duty position and will carry the healthcare benefits that were being offered prior to the injury. Then we'll go ahead and put the employer information in and click preview letter, and that will give us the small blurry example that does meet all of the department criteria. The one downside to this tool is that it is only capable of generating letters in English. If your employee is Spanish speaking, you will want to send a translated copy. Any job offers must be made in the worker's preferred language. Once the worker has received the copy of this offer, they are going to respond one way or the other. If the worker accepts, go ahead and start the job along the timeline that was outlined in the offer letter. Keep an eye on the APFs coming in and make sure that nothing is significantly changed so that we're aware of any ongoing restrictions, and we make sure that we're keeping our worker safe and helping with the recovery rather than hindering it. We will want to hold on to any and all time cards for any light duty days. And if the worker declines the job offer, that can end their eligibility for ongoing time loss. So it's definitely a benefit there as well for controlling our claim costs. And then finally, once we've jumped through all of those hoops, we're going to want to complete and apply for the stay at work benefits. There are 2 forms we can work with here. If we're applying for wage reimbursement, this top form, and I believe Dominique has dropped that in chat for us. This top form is for wage reimbursement, and they will ask for payroll records for all dates that we're requesting the reimbursement for. This will also need to include daily time cards to fully document how many hours were worked, and a copy of that job description that the attending provider approved. Just a quick reminder that these days do not need to be concurrent. We can just pick the days that our worker had the most number of hours, and so we're maximizing what amount of reimbursement we can qualify for. That second form is going to be for expense reimbursement. And that is going to be if we needed to buy something specifically to allow the worker to perform modified duty. I've seen it be as much as a 4-wheeler if the worker isn't capable of walking in the fields, but the modified duty that was approved was supervisor, then we can apply to have that 4-wheeler reimbursed. And that does stay your property even when the worker has been released to full duty. The reimbursement amounts that we're looking at are now on screen. If the date of injury was prior to the 1st of January of this year, we can apply for up to 66 working days and a maximum reimbursement of $10,000. If the date of injury was on or after the start of the year, then we can apply for up to 120 working days and a maximum refund or reimbursement of up to $25,000. This program does not impact your premium rates, so it's definitely worthwhile to go after this. And applying for this does not change the claim from non-compensable to compensable. There is a bit of a lag on getting the reimbursement. The team that processes these applications at the department is running behind, and we're looking at about 100 days from application to reimbursement. If you do have a error in the application, they will work with you on getting that corrected, and the correction does not restart the clock. It doesn't make you lose your spot in line. You're still going to be getting your reimbursement at that speed. And finally, if you need any in-depth or personalized training, or if you have claim-specific questions, please feel free to reach out to your assigned claims consultant. We are all happy to help you and all very enthusiastic about this program. Before I give you the rest of your time back, does anybody have any questions that I can help with?
Doesn't look like questions. Thank you, Ashton. And just a reminder, next week we will be talking about tractor safety. Thank you, guys. And have a good day.